What's going on, guys? Chad back with you here, and I wanted to get the live stream started here just to go over what I have done with the Babyhawk-R. I have a few days ago picked up the Taco RC 2.5 inch arm upgrade kit, which is a pretty nice kit. It comes with, of course, your replacement 2.5 inch arms, and it comes with a set of the Gem Fan Flash 2540 props, I believe is what they are now. And it also comes with some more mounting material and some soft motor mounts and kind of arm protection guards there, which I did not want to use because I didn't want to increase the weight on the Babyhawk-R. So my first flight, I'm going to be putting together a video of all that stuff, by the way. But my first flight was literally about 35 seconds long. The Foxier camera that comes with the Babyhawk-R, the lens and everything has a really weird aspect ratio. It's a real narrow kind of field of view. Like coming into land and hitting gaps and stuff is kind of weird with it compared to my other cameras. So as I was coming around, I basically went straight into a perfect tree branch that was basically the exact same size here, that destroyed my canopy and ripped off the dipole off of my VTX. And in the time it took me to walk, I don't know, the 70-80 feet, my VTX actually fried and died. So picked up a new VTX from Emax. They're like $15. Well, a little pricey for what it is. It's a VTX, whatever. $15 is like the going rate. Be nicer if they were a little bit cheaper. And I also picked up a couple new dipoles that I have. You can see I have just zip tied on down here. Reception's fine this way. I did have it sticking out of the top, but that just makes it a little bit more, vulnerable, I think. But they picked a couple of those up from Race Day Quads, as well as a couple of spare canopies until maybe I'll do a 3D printed one. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how things go with this setup. I did replace the camera, even though this one works fine. But like I said, I really don't like the lens with it. I did replace it with a Predator that I have laying around, and the aspect ratio, the way it flies, it definitely makes it feel and I guess look like you're actually flying a true like 5-inch quad. That was really something that I didn't notice with this. I always thought it flew really great for the little bit that I have flown it, but until I actually swapped out the camera for something that had the correct field of view and depth perception and everything for what I was used to, now it flies even better. Now I was getting some jello on that, and mostly I think that I've only been able to test this inside. I haven't been able to test out with a true flight yet. But what was happening was there's a lot of extra material on these two corners here of the Predator compared to the Aero V2 that comes with it. And I believe the canopy was buzzing and rattling against that, creating the jello. So I guess we will test that out, as well as some new PIDs that I have found for 2.5 inch on 3S and 4S. So I have flown it with the jello, and the thing flies awesome on 2.5 inch. It's perfect. The weight's up to 94 grams, and I think we started at like 86. So for for a 2.5 inch, definitely that is where we want to be. We don't want to get any heavier. I know the 3-inch versions are dropping now. I'm not sure what the weight on those are. Be a little bit more tailored to 4-inch, but I think 2.5-inch is pretty much where I'm going to stop. I'm kind of on the kebab FPV train. I think once you get above 2.5-inch and you get into 3-inch, that's when you start getting into that bigger, more annoying type of profile, and you might as well fly a 5-inch at that point. I've never really got bad reception, Jesse. My reception has been pretty good, even with the dipole. I have it set to the high power, 200 milliwatts, just flying around my house here. I get like your normal dipole blips where it basically cuts in and out in an instant, but no like static or anything hardly at all. I can fly pretty much behind my house while I'm in the front and have pretty good usable video. Not really a big problem, so I don't have anything to complain about really with that. Putting the new VTX on was pretty easy. It just pins in, and then you just resolder the connector, and the Predator uses the exact same connector as the Foxy or Micro Arrow here, so it just plugs right in. Everything fits really good. There's no issues except for maybe, like I said, down there in the corners where I filed off the material. Inside, let's see here. These are the actual excuse me. These are the 2-inch arms that actually came off of it. They're separate pieces. I was looking at the ones on Pyroflip, but they are out of stock. They are a one-piece design for both arms. Excuse me. Motors are in, so I have a spare just in case. And now I'm basically just going to be flying around this at 2.5 inches and seeing how everything works and how satisfied I am with it, and just trying to figure out if it's worth the extra. I don't know. I guess you could say hassle to go from a 2.5 inch from a 2-inch to a 2.5 inch. The tune felt really good, especially the new tune that I've been working on. So I'm gonna do some more flying and some more taping and everything of that, and then I will of course put a video up showing the PIDs and everything else. If you didn't also see the other video that I put out the other day, Emax does have a safety alert as far as the FETs on this ESC possibly shorting out on the carbon. There is TPU prints out there, which I printed a TPU spacer to put in there to prevent that from happening. A few people have kind of said, or kind of like upset about that. It's really, not a big deal. You can always, there's only a couple FETs like right here in the middle where it could actually touch. So you could actually just put some electrical tape through there and not have any problems. Phew, yeah, excuse me. The most convenient and best thing that I did was change out my Velcro strap, and somebody on one of my videos recommended these on off of Amazon. They're the Rux Hobby Velcro straps. I think they're 150 millimeters, I believe. Got the man, excuse me. Got the package right here, and of course it doesn't have any size or label on it. RJX. So they're really nice, beefy strap. I actually wouldn't mind having some of these for some of my larger quads. So That's pretty nice. But yeah, I got some 4S batteries to test out, and some 4S PIDs to play around with to see how things go. The one downside, of course, is I did print a box for the Babyhawk 2-inch, and it just barely does not fit into there for 2 inches. So you can see that you just kind of, it fits, but it's kind of awkward and stuff like that. So I might be printing out another one. Sorry, excuse me. I may print out another one and we'll see. I definitely want to keep this in something when I go to the field, just because these smaller props, even though these Gem Fan props are pretty durable as far as breaking and bending and everything, I did notice that just a slight bend in one of these and trying to bend it back, that you can pick up. This thing is like a magnet for oscillations, even without a CMOS camera on there. So it kind of stinks that knowing that almost every time that you crash, that if you do bend a prop, more than likely you'll have to replace more than one in order to maintain the proper performance. Because I did notice that those motors were a lot warmer than the other ones, so that was kind of a bummer. Yeah, I see people that have put like axes on them and everything like that, and it's kind of like, why would you put a $20 antenna on one of these? I don't know. It flies great, and you get perfect signal with this, especially if you're, I mean, if you're running an RXR and you're trying to get some, like, I don't know, a little bit longer range with it than, say, within a football field, then maybe you would want something that is a little bit better, but the dipole is still going to scream at 200 milliwatts, so I don't really understand why anybody would want to go ahead and change that up and everything. So everything's pretty good. I'm glad to have everything back together. There's no more snow out there right now, so it's just all grass and mud, which means that I will fly this thing like crazy as fast as my batteries will charge and allow me to, because I really want to just fly it and play with it and just enjoy it, because it's just such a great size, and the power and the PIDs. I mean, it just was flying great. What little bit of testing I got out of it before the rain and everything started, even though it was kind of, like I said, it was kind of bad flying it with all the jello that I was getting through the Predator. But hopefully I've got that solved now. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow. And I'll put up those videos and show everybody the video of my awesome crash that I had that just totally wiped this thing out. So Taco RC does sell a full kit that comes with the 2.5-inch arms with extra props, and I think you can actually fit 3-inch props on this now. I'm not 100% sure. I think I actually have some 3-inch props, but they are not 3-inch props with these kind of connectors. They're 3-inch props that I used to run on my Vortex 150, so they actually have the M5 locking nut, so can't do anything about that. It kind of stinks. I took this out of the 5.5-inch Proton, so it's sitting over here without a camera, waiting on the Micro Eagle to put into that. So I am pretty excited about that. So this will be like the third camera that this baby's gotten since it's been built. But this is my favorite rig to fly, my 5.5-inch Proton, you know, mid-range, long-range, whatever. This thing just cooks on 5S. I love it. Gives me great video, and I want the best flying experience I can get at the same time as the best recording experience. And so I put the Predator on here, and you know, it's just so much better than the Caddx that I had on there. So I'm really excited to put the Eagle Micro on there, because I have Eagle 2 Pros on all of my on my 3 other bigger quads, my 2 reverbs and my 6-inch Canasti Cougar frame. So that will be sitting on the sidelines. And let's see what anything else coming up, kind of going off topic here and everything on this. But I have a barbell flight controller. I got one that actually blew up as soon as I applied power to it. You know, my solder job and everything was perfect. Don't know what happened. Just, you know, it's the first bad one I had. Not a big deal. And it was replaced. And so I have that, and I'm going to pull out my CL Racing F4S out of my 6-inch and stick the Bardwell in there, as well as a new VTX, so I can kind of clean that up, because my CL Racing F4S is kind of locked up. It won't let me update it or go into DFU mode or anything like that. So I'm going to pull that out and send that into Chenglin to get that repaired or replaced. So have a couple videos on that coming up this weekend. Probably doing a live stream, just do a build here, rebuild or whatever here at the bench, and we'll see what's going on with the Babyhawk. So just gonna go ahead and cut this one off here then, guys. Thanks a lot, and if you have any questions about the setup or install, everything goes pretty good. Just be careful that there are some locking nuts underneath here, and they are small. So when you pull out all 3 of these screws here, they are going to fall out, and they actually recess in this bottom part of the canopy right here. So definitely be careful that you do not lose those. And this back middle one actually has a small aluminum flange lock nut on it that you can see if you look back there underneath it. So that one's pretty easy to see, but these up here are really small. So if you're going to take off these arms, be really careful. Plenty of room for the motor wires. Pulled those out and just put some shrink wrap around them. It's starting to look more and more like a real 5-inch machine here. It's funny how just the extra half-inch all the way around has just really changed the size and the dynamics of this thing. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys later.